There's nothing more frustrating than getting a new product at home, being excited, and then it doesn't work the way you thought it would. Well, Emily, you guys have been helping manufacturers, helping service providers solve that bug. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Centercode, and then we'll talk a little bit about the smart home.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, we're a beta testing company, so we help companies test out their unreleased products with real customers in real environments to make sure that there aren't any bugs, the customer experience is exactly what they want before they launch it out into the world.
And so that means getting products out to a lot of different people, but you select those people, right?
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you're getting feedback from the right people. So if you get feedback from a bunch of people and they're not members of your target market, you could send your product in the completely wrong direction. So you need to make sure that they fit the right criteria of your target market, and then also the right groups in your target market, the right segmentations, so that you're getting the right coverage to make sure that your product works with all of the other products that it's supposed to work with, and that the people who are giving you that feedback fit those different criteria in your market, and you can really trust it.
And you literally test all kinds of things, right? From entertainment services to...
Oh yeah, we test everything from smart home products, wearables, home entertainment devices, software, apps, everything you can think of. Pretty much any tech company out there has probably worked with us at some point.
Well, we're here at Connections, and a big topic, of course, is smart home and that sort of thing. And what are some of the insights you've seen with testing products for people?
I think some of the big challenges right now that smart home products are facing is that there's this misalignment in between what the products are delivering and what the target market thinks they're going to deliver. So because a lot of these products are new, people don't know what to expect from a smart sprinkler system, smart air freshener, smart, whatever in their lives. So these products are releasing and they don't always match what customers think that they're going to do straight out of the box. So you have customers that are disappointed, they're frustrated, they think it's going to do more than what they actually deliver. So beta testing helps smart home products actually figure out where those misses are and either add that functionality or change their marketing messaging to make sure that what they actually do is what customers think they're going to do.
And what sort of expectations do people have these days as far as smart home? What are you finding? I know one of the things was about cost and people who have products versus people who don't have products.
Yeah, so I think people say that they're a little nervous about cost to get into some of these pricier products and bringing them into their home. But what I think they're really nervous about is value. They don't know what these products are going to deliver and whether it's worth that high price tag, or that they don't know how they're going to leverage them to actually get the value that they say that they're going to provide. So they say that they're nervous to spend $100 on a smart home product, but I think it's really that they're a little self-conscious that when they actually get it home, that they're not actually going to get what they want out of it. And they're just going to be disappointed that they spent that much on the new bright new thing.
And that bright new thing just kind of sits on the shelf and doesn't really do anything anymore. Right?
Yeah, it just collects dust in the corner, and the novelty wears off. After a week, they say, okay, that was cool for a while, but I don't really see that solving a long-term problem in my life. And so it just ends up being another device that they put on the shelf.
Is that some of the part of your testing process is to kind of find that burnout stage early?
Yeah, exactly. You not only want to test what the initial experiences are with the product, but what that long-term experience is with too. So a couple weeks after they've had the product, do they still love it? Do they not want to give it back? Or, are they kind of done with it? And they said, okay, I get it, but, I'm ready to move on to something else.
Are you seeing anything in the smart home space that customers are saying, hey, this is something I really want?
We're starting to see some really interesting adoptions. So the first products that people wanted to adopt were those climate control, the Nest thermostats, the Honeywell smart thermostats. Now they're starting to move into security was the next phase, and starting to add that to their ecosystem. Now they're starting to experiment with kind of the more interesting things like smart lighting and some of those smart home automation devices that you don't really think of when you first start to think about smart home. So we're seeing people kind of expand what they're interested in and really starting to jump into the interesting new products that aren't the first things you think of on the smart home front.
Well, one of the things that has been talked about at this conference is this whole idea of really having a platform to take these discrete products. And are you seeing much people, A, testing that platform through you guys, and B, if that's helping?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing to just have a Nest thermometer in your house, but once you have maybe 5 or 6 devices, if you're using 5 or 6 different companion apps to try and control all that, it's an incredibly frustrating experience. So we're seeing a lot of companies start to move towards hubs, towards platforms, start more of an ecosystem and less of just the siloed products in their own worlds. So for example, like the Logitech Harmony remote, I think is designed to work with thousands of different smart home products and control them all from a remote and then an app on your phone. So it brings the whole experience into one.
And I suppose from someone made the comment about the best app is the best interface is the one that's not needed. Are you seeing much in the way in terms of automation where it just detects your presence and does something?
Yeah, I think that was something really interesting that Trisha Park said earlier today, is that it's not just about ease of use, it's about things feeling familiar. And so it's that next step beyond, something being intuitive, but really just being effortless. And that's really where we want smart home to get. So it needs to be that you don't even think about it, it just happens. You walk into your home and the thermometer changes the temperature, the lights turn on, your Alexa wakes up and says, hey, what can I tell you about today? Or what's on the menu tonight for dinner? I think that's the level that we all really want it to get to, and we're getting close.
Great. Well, I'm sure you'll be testing it. So Emily, thank you.
Thank you.